Ask Mr. Manno to start us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stay standing for a moment of silence for veterans, past and present. Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Hartman.
Here.
Rose. Here. Schrader.
Here.
Manine. Johnson.
Here.
Hendricks.
Here.
Hyde.
Here.
Brzezinski.
Here.
Manno.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Bono.
Here.
Ackerman. Kuklinski. Korse.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
Shaw.
Here.
Weekly.
Here.
14.
Okay, 14. I'll ask the clerk to read the notice of a special session.
A special session of the Legislature of the County of Herkimer will be held on Monday, January 14, 2013 at 6:45 p.m. in the Legislative Chambers, County Office Building, Herkimer, New York. The purpose of this meeting will be to consider resolution upon the following matter. Approve establishment of Living Learning Health Science Center project at Herkimer County Community College.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I know that at special sessions we don't normally allow in our rules for comments by the public, but I would ask, this is an important issue. I'm not sure if there's anybody in the public who would like to speak, but I wonder if we could suspend the rules by unanimous consent.
You making it a motion?
Second.
A second. All those in, or debate? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll allow. I guess we can, is there anyone we can do it at this point?
We're suspending your rules by unanimous consent, so whatever you say
Okay.
goes until somebody.
Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak? Hearing no one, we'll move on. Communications received by the legislature and committees to which they have been referred are listed on the agenda. Does any member of the legislature request anything to be read? Move on. We'll now go to resolution number 14.
It's Ways and Means Education County Properties approving establishment of Living Learning Health Science Center project at Herkimer County Community College.
This resolution approves the establishment of the Living Learning Health Science Center project at Herkimer County Community College. May I have a motion? Mr. Manno, second by Mr. Russell. Mr. Shaw. Any debate? Mrs. Rose.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize for having missed the earlier meeting. I got myself messed up in terms of times and changes. I did talk briefly with Ms. Beatrice just before this meeting, and this is an exciting initiative, and I think that both the college and the Valley Health Services are recommended for joining forces on that. I understand from talking informally with some of the people that were present at the meeting, of course, finances are fluid and not necessarily all money in place for it. I do respect the idea that this resolution will have a placeholder, and hopefully the funds would be available for the State Education Department to match the $1.5 million that the college would need to come up with. I also understand that the college will be searching for that money. I think one of the questions I had asked of people that were present during this meeting was whether Valley Health had all their finances in order. And I recall when Valley Health was interested in Country Manor previous, when they first got the HEAL grant, one of the proposals I understand that they had made was that they were willing to take the then population of Country Manor, which was I think 36 at the time, and be willing to house, regardless of reimbursement, them within any one of their programs, and allow us to keep Country Manor's property, but we were going to be required to give Country Manor $1 million. And all the money coming from all sources to pull this project together, a project that would certainly benefit the elderly and those on Medicaid in our community. I still need to reflect back on the current proposal that I guess is in the works on Country Manor. They were getting the 50 assisted living beds. Country Manor, Valley Health has confirmed the beds that they're going to have. It's going to be costing us about $500,000 in the deal, turning over the property, and another 200 and some thousand in the first 5 years for the firm that's going to take over Country Manor. If that deal goes through, that would be $500,000. And if we approached Valley Health and said, hey, are you willing to resurrect the deal and let's renegotiate, you might be able to get money on the table. Money on the table that can allow this project to really be funded and move forward. And I will support this resolution tonight, and I hope that the Human Resources Affairs Committee, the Finance Committee, the Properties Committee, and any other committee that we have here that has influence on this will sit down and have frank conversations about what the status of the current country manor is, and understanding that they had, I think, 7 months, and of course the clock began ticking a month or so ago, and be able to see if there's truly a way that there's funding that will bring this initiative proposed by Valley Health and the college to fruition. It would be wonderful for our community. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Mr. Herkimer?
I concur with Mrs. Rose's comments. I mean, I thought from the beginning this was the way to go, and I think Country Manor may be in, that deal may be in a little trouble now that they were denied their elk beds, and,
There's no, just a point of order, there's no indication that any deal is in any trouble.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Please don't speculate if there
Okay.
is.
okay, well, elk beds were one of the contingencies that they could back out on, and that was denied. In any event, as I said during the committee meeting, it's a great concept. It's a way to take care of our citizens in their twilight years. Watching the federal government at work, you often hear how community colleges can play a key role in training the workforce. Now, the open jobs, there's often not enough trained individuals to take them. And that's the case in health care, as Ms. Beatrice it confirms that we can educate these workers that her facility and other facilities have a deficit of training for. So it's just a win-win. We're going to take care of our people, hopefully. This will go through. And the education will be key. And I think the president and other federal officials are relying heavily on community colleges to provide the training. As far as coming up with funding from the county, that has not come before us. But I agree with Mrs. Rose that perhaps we can find a way to come up with something. I know in working on many village grants that it's key that you have the federal, state, local government, and private entities involved. Many parties, and the more parties involved, the better. And every little bit you get from each entity is leveraged for more money from the larger entities. So I'm glad this resolution is before us tonight, and hopefully we can keep on moving forward.
Is there anyone else? Mr. President?
Mr. Chairman, I would be more apt to support this if we can get Anne Marie to come down here and convince some of the legislators here that are supporting this jail to dump the jail and use this money that we got. I know we probably can't do it, but to use this money in support of a good project like they are proposing. And I think it's a good project, and I'm going to support it, but I don't support the jail, and I never will, but I think we ought to think about using money in a good way for something that's good, and a good project like they are proposing. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman,
yes,
just one more thing I gotta say. It doesn't pertain to this here, but I gotta say this. When a person raises their hand and they got the floor to speak,
I corrected him.
yeah, that person should be allowed to speak and get done. The next person should raise their hand.
I know the rules.
And let's be professional. Well,
I corrected him, I told him to wait, and he refrained.
Well, we need to keep that on the front burner.
Absolutely. Anyone else? All right, call roll, I'm sorry, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. And that ends our meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr.
Well, if
Mayor?
there's no further business, I move we adjourn to January 23rd, 7:30 for our next meeting.
Second by Mr. Whitley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.